Hi, this is Greg Schuler, and this video is going to talk about the access control system for Rundeck. In a future video, I'll talk more in depth about how to define particular ACL policies, but for this one, I'm just going to talk about the access control system in general. In Rundeck, we have an access control system that allows you to restrict all the actions that a user can perform and what they can see in the Rundeck GUI. Now the access control system uses four components to determine whether somebody can do something. The first is the user themselves, what their username and group membership is. The group membership is defined usually from LDAP or Active Directory, or if you're using file-based authentication, you can define what groups they're in within the file. So the user is the subject. The second component, the context that they're in. There's the application context, which applies to things within the application itself, like the projects and whether they can administer the system. And then the other context is a particular project, so things within a project or all projects. The third thing is the resource that they're acting upon. So in a project, the resource could be a job or a node or a particular execution log. And then at the application context, a resource would be a project. And then finally, the action is the fourth component. So what actions are they allowed to do? What actions are they denied access to? Those are the four components. In the Rundeck access control system, all the rules for the system are defined in ACL policy files. These ACL policy files live in the etc Rundeck directory, and they are a YAML-based syntax, and the way the system works is it loads all the rules and all the files and treats them all kind of a big homogeneous group of rules. Rundeck will by default deny any action. So you need to allow an action for it to be available to a user. You can also deny actions explicitly, and that overrides any allow rules that also match. This is the Anvil's demo, Anvil's Vagrant demo, and there's a bunch of specific rules defined in these files. The default set of access control files is pretty small, but this is a good example of how you can split up your rules to make it a little easier to manage. Here are some that apply to everyone, some that apply to particular groups. Within that set, there's some that apply to particular jobs or nodes. So to look at an example, this policy file defines rules within a particular project context, matching all projects. A group is the subject, so every user within this group gets this rule, and then the for clause defines the resources that it matches. So it defines nodes that have a particular tag, and then finally it allows these two actions on those nodes. All these combine to provide the rule set that is evaluated when a particular action is requested. So for example, this dev group, if I look at the nodes as an admin, I see all these nodes. If I log out and log in as dev, I see that some of these nodes do not have run access to. So that's just a small example of how the ACL policy works. In this case, only the www nodes are allowed run access, so just this set. So that's been a quick overview of the ACL policy and access control for Rundeck. Thanks.